This video is supported by CuriosityStream. Gwynne Shotwell, the COO of SpaceX, brought up recently that SpaceX might perform 24 dedicated Starlink launches in 2020, adding over 1,500 satellites to our sky in just a year. This will double the number of satellites above the Earth and will also cost SpaceX $1.5 billion to accomplish. But what does that mean for the industry and for us, the consumers? To be honest, I can feel a strategy net being weaved right now by SpaceX to advance its broadband internet strategy. Nobody can yet tell the outcome of the Starlink push, but I guess there are only two possibilities out there. It either works and changes the future of communication, or it doesn't, which will result in a lot of waste for the next 5 years until all Starlink satellites disintegrate during re-entry. To say the least, it is a radical plan. If it works, this will be like when we first invented passenger air travel in the early 1970s. If it doesn't work, it would be like another Iridium failure in the early 2000s. But I think the math checks out this time. Take a look at the number SpaceX is pulling right now. According to Elon, the production of satellites costs less than cost of launch. Therefore, assuming $30 million for launch, $30 additional million for satellite production, the entire project will only cost $1.44 billion to carry out. A lot of money, I know, but that means $1.44 billion for over 1,500 satellites. Even if the total cost of each Starlink launch goes to as high as $100 million, that's $50 million for launch, $50 million for satellite production, it's still just a fraction of what cost Iridium to bankrupt in the early 2000s. Let's be reminded that it took $5 billion for Iridium to launch only 66 satellites, 22 times less than what SpaceX could do with $1.44 billion. $5 billion in the early 2000s is easily $7 to $8 billion in today's money. That comes to show how disruptive reusable technology has been for the space industry and how curiously uncertain the future could be for the industry and for consumers. This is also why it is a very exciting change, because we have not done it before. It's the first time in the history that we attempt such an ambitious project, and SpaceX has a trump card, its launch vehicle. No one in the world can do what Starlink has set out to do without the powerful, cost-effective Falcon rockets. So what exactly makes Starlink so disruptive? First of all, the scale of Starlink is unprecedented. Put aside the planned 12,000 satellites in total for the next decade, what Shotwell proposed for 2020 is grand to begin with. 24 launches in 12 months. That's 2 Starlink launches per month in addition to SpaceX normal operations. This will put 120 Starlink communication satellites in orbit every month. 2 things this will put to test: rapid launch and recovery capability of Team for Falcon 9 and the production capability for Starlink satellites. Let's be reminded that we have not mass-produced communication satellites ever, and that's partly the reason why satellites are so expensive. Some spy satellites can cost as high as $1 billion to make. Right now, from the evidences I've seen, it costs around $500,000 to make one Starlink satellite, but if SpaceX starts producing satellites like Boeing produces airplanes, it's gonna cost even less over the years. Second, SpaceX pushing forth Starlink project will also benefit the smallsat market. We've already seen changes to SpaceX smallsat ride-sharing program, and again, it is groundbreaking. I have mentioned in a previous video talking about this that at the price tag of $2.25 million, which was the price in the original plan, SpaceX is already very competitive in the smallsat market. But now SpaceX has made the decision to fix the price of a 200 kilograms payload to $1 million instead. This is not just competitive, it potentially could drive SpaceX competitors out of business. For a payload lighter than 200 kilograms, Rocket Lab's price tag is $5 million last time I checked. Rocket Lab's service is more dedicated for smallsat, but SpaceX does have the capability to launch payloads into multiple orbits, so it's not bad also. With Starlink and its planned launch cadence, there will be more ride-sharing available over the years, making SpaceX services even more desirable. Looking at the chart from SpaceX, there will be 12 launches in 2020 and 17 launches in 2021 for smallsat ride-sharing program. A huge increase from its original plan thanks to the Starlink project. This will make the industry very competitive, and here's the good news. Competition is needed for innovation that will make the smallsat industry more robust and hence and benefit small-set customers. Considering that many small-set customers are research institutes and universities, this $1 million price tag will bring a lot more creativity to the space industry as well. By the way, I'm also not saying that SpaceX is doing all of this solely for the purpose of advancing technology. It is not. SpaceX has planned this for a long time, and its profitability might even depend on this. Leaked documents in 2015 reported by Wall Street Journal table the fact that SpaceX was not making money then, and the profit from launch business is thin to begin with. Although the report is quite dated for now and a lot has happened for SpaceX since 2015, it does reveal that SpaceX is counting on Starlink project to further its businesses. And boy, do Starlink have a good business. Our modern communications network is built upon old legacy infrastructures and protocols for military purposes during the Cold War. We continue to build upon the legacy internet backbones because of the old investment and the lack of alternative. That's why AT&T and Verizon can dominate the US market for communication infrastructures without providing a compelling service. However, Starlink drastically lowers its investment needed for a completely new communications infrastructure. When Elon was asked about internet protocol behind Starlink in early 2018, he suggested that Starlink will have something simpler and peer-to-peer. In addition to this complete bombshell of information, Musk also pointed out that whatever Starlink emerges to be, it will be by definition more secure than our existing internet infrastructure. End-to-end encryption encoded at a firmware level. I have no doubt that this will be an exciting new era ahead of us. Sending 1,500 satellites to orbit is no doubt a bold and disruptive move, but there are consequences to doing things differently. One of them when it comes to satellites in space is space debris. If you want to know more about this, do check out our sponsor of today, CuriosityStream, a subscription streaming service that offers thousands of documentaries from some of the world's best filmmakers. This episode on space junk and its dangers will answer all your questions regarding space debris. Under this series, there are also many other exhilarating episodes on space, such as this episode on Israeli private moonshot and this one on Mars Insight rover that was sent to Mars in 2018. Other than this series, CuriosityStream has an entire section focused on technology. One of its subsections is on transportation, which is something we all care about. CuriosityStream offered audiences a 31-day free trial as long as you sign up with the link down below with the code curiouselephant. Once your free trial is up, they charge $19.99 a year, which is only $1.67 a month. So start binge watching and exploring the future of technology today with CuriosityStream.